Alrighty, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks, joined by South Dakota, Mr. Timothy Mullen. How are we today?
Oh, pretty good. Feel pretty good. Not gonna lie, that Eagles win got me through the week, or has been getting me through the week.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
care, no issue, just euphoria.
I will say I'm always happy when I pick against the Eagles and I'm wrong. So I'm glad that they pulled off the win.
Well, you do pick against the Eagles so often that you've experienced wins and losses.
I mean,
So, it does mean something considering you've
right,
tasted them both and you
right,
prefer the wins.
of course. Funny enough, I ended up at that game. That was not planned, but yeah, me and my buddy Mike, he's been on the podcast a couple times. He's done game picks a few times. He was in the area. He wanted to tailgate. I was like, you never tailgated at the link before. I was like, okay, yeah, we can go tailgate. So we're walking around, we were hanging out with some people, and then we're like, oh, we'll just go to Xfinity. And I mean, it was shitty wet. Like, it was raining. It wasn't like a downpour, but it was like enough rain to be annoying, like that constant
Didn't look
drizzle.
comfortable. Yeah, it
No,
did not look
it
comfortable.
wasn't like cold, but it didn't feel good. That kind of rain.
It looked pretty cold.
I mean, after a while, it got cold. But so we got in
You're
line
just too numb to feel it.
we got in line in Xfinity. We probably stood in line for like 15 minutes and didn't move. And we're like, all right, we're not getting in this. I was like, maybe we can go find like another bar nearby or something, or at least we won't miss too much of the game. Because at this point, it was like halfway through the first quarter, and so he was like looking on his phone. He's like, hold up, let me see if I can get tickets. I'm like, they're gonna be way too expensive. Like, I'm not dropping $200 to watch three quarters. And then we found some for like, it was like $80 or $90, and like really close to the field. Like, they were good seats. They were probably like $400 or $500 seats originally, and so we said fuck it, and we got there right at the start of the second quarter, or right at the end of the first quarter, and it was wet. It was a little cold. It was windy, but we had a nice crew around us. A lot of good Eagles fans we met there who were
Love
having
it.
a good time, and obviously the first half was brutal. Once again,
Yeah,
Brian Johnson,
that's
masterclass in being a shit play caller.
he
Um,
really is struggling. All aspects. I thought it was more of like he just can't hold a lead, but dude, it's like, oof, this is ugly. But I mean,
yeah,
on the one positive, like you said, if you're gonna stand in the stadium and watch a game like that, freezing in the rain on a Monday night, you only got the real fans left. Like I feed off the real fan energy.
dude, it was
When you got the
packed
nice
till
weather
the end of the
days,
game. Packed till the end of
oh
the game.
yeah. Well, you get a nice weather game. You got people that like root for the other team. Some people that are just there because they want to be there. They're
Yeah.
probably with a group or whatever. You only get the diehards in the stadium. Plus, I'm proud of you. You recently turned 30, the big third decade, and you're out here doing young man things. Showing up to only tailgate and end up in the stadium mid game is definitely a
That is
young
a
man thing.
degenerate. That is a degenerate thing.
Yeah, I liked it, but no better way of celebrating, entering your third decade with doing
Yeah.
something that most people in the second decade do.
But
But
yeah, it
live
was
on the seat of your
it was a good
pants. I'm proud
time.
of you.
It was probably the most exciting Eagles game I've ever been to live. Um,
Oh yeah, I mean,
which
what do
is
you mean?
which is a coincidence, because I would have said the second best was back when I used to intern with the Eagles back in grad school. I was on the sideline for the Jake Elliott game winner against the Giants, where he kicked like, what was it, 63 yards or whatever, 64 yards.
Very nice.
Like, that was awesome. Like, that was an epic win. Like, everyone going crazy. And this game, man, to have that horrible first half, down by 10 at half, down by 10 in the start of the fourth quarter, and come back. Jalen put the team on his back. The defense, stepped up enough to hold when they needed to. They made an interception at a crucial spot for
James
once.
Bradbury. That was like the first time I hadn't heard his name in a couple weeks, and then he comes out of nowhere with an interception. It's like,
And you
look
got
at James, huh?
Jordan Davis out here running like 19, meters per night. Like, I think they timed
Oh,
him.
with the
Did you see that?
with
He
the one of
ran
the
like,
fastest quarterbacks in the
yeah,
league. Oh yeah, that was impressive. No wonder the guy was laying on the field injured. The guy just couldn't breathe.
he
At
ran like
350
faster.
pounds, that's impressive.
He clocked out fast, like 19 miles an hour. Josh Allen was like 18 miles an hour or something. I was like, what the fuck?
Could you imagine getting hit by Jordan
No,
Davis going 19 miles? Like
no.
that'd be like putting a fridge on a treadmill on like the highest speed. That would not
That's
be fun at all. No wonder
He's
Josh Allen was running, the fastest we've ever seen him run. I don't blame him.
he's it's nice that we have had players developing, right? Like
Yeah,
Jalen, we were like, oh, well, we need to see him take a step. He took a step last year, developed. Then we're like Jordan Davis. He had like some shine last year. Like use the off
we got
season,
hurt.
maybe shed some pounds. He's looked
Yeah,
great. That's why our run. I
very,
mean,
very good.
last two games, run defense been pretty sus. They need to tighten things up, but um,
Yeah, listen. They know how to grit down when it's time, and Jordan Davis is a big part of that.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I mean, I actually, it's amazing. This is the first game I watched, and I was almost relaxed because now I've taken the positive approach, as I've told you the last couple of weeks. I'm just going to be happy. I'm not going to yell at my TV. I'm not going to get overly angry or stressed like I've been every single week this season. I was just going to take the good, knowing that they're probably going to play terrible. They're going to keep it close enough. And then eventually they're going to flip a switch and they're going to win the game. Like every other week, they're just going to torment me, keep a team in that they're crushing in the game much longer than they should, or you know, even when they're looking terrible, they're still pretty close and score, and then they turn it on in like the third quarter or the fourth quarter.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
what we did. Not bad. I'm just getting used to it now. It's all about acceptance. I
yeah.
just knew we weren't going to lose that game.
I mean, look, I thought it would look bleak, but there was no point where I was like, they're not gonna like they don't have a chance when I was
Oh
watching it.
no, they
Like,
were in it the whole time.
yeah, I mean, you got Jalen
They're
Hurts
like,
until the clock strikes zero. Like, my confidence is still in the birds. So
it's not even. I mean, it's not even just Jalen Hurts. This is what excites me about this team. Why I'm staying positive up until they lose. Then I'll have weeks of frustration to get out. But these like gritty wins will help them going forward. I never lost confidence in them like not winning because they've always stepped up, made big plays when they're like just run through this game alone. You had a rookie blocking a field goal with like a minute left and a half to keep a 3-point lead. Like that would have put you down by, six at least. Three is very easy. Tie it with a
yeah,
field goal, take the lead on a touchdown. Your third wide receiver went and made arguably the best catch of the season. Just goes up on third and 15 on two guys. Your third wide, this wasn't AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. Your third
mm,
wide receiver went and did that. You had Jordan Davis, like you said, 350-pound lineman running step by step with Josh Allen.
crazy.
You had Jason Kelsey sprinting out of his snap and crushing the guy on the edge to set up the game winning touchdown on a drive that he had two false starts. And then, I mean, the best kicker in the entire league drilled a 60-yard field goal with no time left in the rain. The only nutcases out there were you and, the other drunken Eagles live in their moment.
Man, Jake
They
Elliott.
step up, man.
Remember,
They
remember,
step up.
remember when I told you I was like, he's got to be. I mean, he's probably already right behind David Akers for greatest Eagles kicker of all time. But man,
I
you
mean,
you
I
talk
think you can
about.
make an argument, but yeah, no,
I think
I
no,
for
I
nostalgia.
agree. I think the longevity is the only thing he's missing. But I mean, the clutch
He's young.
kicking is insane. 59 yards in the pouring rain with the wind coming at you, or it was going to the side, whatever it was doing. Like
Oh yeah, it looks.
balls,
In the same
ice in
day,
his veins.
Tyler Bass gets a field goal blocked and then misses the
Good,
next
and
one.
he's a
And the
good
thing
kicker too.
was, but it's what? It's the gall. It's you're the bravado, this championship DNA this team has. Tyler Bass ass. You knew he was missing that one. Once he got blocked, he was rattled. You could see it on him. I was like, oh, he's so cold. He's miserable. He's like, oh, I got my kick blocked last time. Man. Missed it. You knew it was happening. Jake Elliott went out there, 59-yarder in the rain. Wasn't doubted a second. I was completely confident he was making that. They just step up in the big moments. I don't care that their play calling sucks. I mean, I do a little bit, but they step up and make up for it.
Yeah, yeah. I not much like. It, now, do I worry that the whole you play with fire too much, you will get burned thing? Sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they can't keep doing this, and they know that has to be more frustrating for them, honestly, than for us as fans, because I mean, you can even see they were showing like sideline faces of like Fletcher Cox was like freaking out when like Elliott hit the field goal, but then they showed like Jason Kelsey and Jalen Hurts, and they both were like shaking their head like we shouldn't have come to this, like we should have taken care of business, like
yeah. I
so
mean, this team's used to win, but you know what? They're still winning. You got to respect the gritty wins. Good
And
teams
yet,
find a way to win.
and yet, we are what are we -3 or +3 underdogs to the fucking 49ers in our own home stadium.
I'm not surprised.
Come on.
I don't care. They're gonna listen.
Oh, this week's
You're
already been. I've already talked. Like, I should just be quiet, but I've already been going at 49ers fans who are talking shit already. I'm just like,
Oh,
please
okay. I mean,
stop.
listen, you don't necessarily even need to win this game because I mean, you won the
They
Buffalo
need.
game, which
I'm telling. I've been saying this. I know Dallas is a rival, is a division team, and we need that win probably more. But emotionally, I want to beat 49ers more than I want to beat Dallas. I
no,
hate.
no,
I hate
stop
this
with
team.
this. You can't
I
get
hate
caught
this
up
team.
in that. You need to beat Dallas. Who cares? You still have the
Now,
number one seed,
now
even if you
it's
lose to the Niners, and you have a
sure.
crap
And
rest
we'll
of the
definitely
schedule. You're
we'll
fine.
more than likely face the Niners again. But
Yeah.
I'm so tired of listening to this hoopla. It's just
I mean, let them
the Eagles
hoopla. You know
get
what the
so
thing is?
they might
They,
be. I mean, too much whiz. Are they the most disrespected 10-1 team like you've ever seen?
no, not even close.
I don't
There's
know.
been.
I mean, the
I'm trying to
Steelers
think.
were
There's
when the Steelers were like 8 and
Yeah, the
0 that one
Steelers
year.
were the
But
Cardinals were like ten
oh
and one like
yeah,
2 years ago.
that's
Like,
right. That's
stop with
right. Well,
this.
yeah, but they
What
were
do you mean
frauds. They were
disrespected? Yeah,
frauds.
but I like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I hear them like critique, and don't get me wrong, there should be critique. We critique them every week about how they look rough in certain moments,
Yeah,
but
but 10
they're
and 1
still
is
the
10
number
and
one.
1.
I mean, that's what I mean. They've been number one on
Should
everyone's
be
power
still
rankings.
undefeated, to be honest. Shouldn't
I
have even
think
lost to the
the
Jets.
I think the narrative more around the Eagles is like, dude, they're 10 and 1 and they look awful. Imagine when they finally get it together.
No, that's the thing. Will
Like
they get it
it's
together? But
But you're talking about a team that's beat the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Chiefs. Like those
but
aren't just
but
make believe wins.
but apparently we're not good according to
I don't know. Listen,
non-Philadelphia.
I heard from like July that we had this death stretch in our schedule that we would be lucky to go
Gauntlet,
3-3 in,
the
and we are
gauntlet.
now 4-0 with the Niners and the Cowboys coming up on the back end.
We were. I mean, we
It,
were saying if we could come out of that 2-3, three and
oh
two,
yeah,
or three and
when
three,
you jumped
whatever.
out to what were we 6 or 7-1 before this whole thing started? Yeah, when you
Yeah.
jumped out to that lead, you're like, fuck, you can drop it 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter. You still have to, because you're not going to give up the first seed. You got Dallas twice. You got the Niners. As long as you beat them, who cares if you beat the Bills?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
But I
Dallas has a
mean,
tough. Dallas finishes pretty. I think they have a pretty tough end of their schedule.
well,
Um,
yeah, eventually they got to play someone good. I mean, yeah, they
and
dropped these 30-point wins or whatever, but look who they're playing.
I mean, Dallas plays Seattle this week, but in Jerry World. Then they play us Sunday Night Football. Then they play the Bills. Bills are going to be desperate. I mean, if Josh Allen can play like that, they'll be in every game. Then they play the Dolphins. Battle of the we can't be any good teams.
The Bills game will be interesting because they'll be coming off the loss to the Eagles, the Cowboys, and then the Bills. I mean, at this point, they're completely desperate every single game. So you have two desperate teams. The Eagles would have beat the Cowboys. They need some mojo back. It would have been down 2. I could see that game being very entertaining.
Then they play the Lions, and then they finish. I think with Kansas. No, they finish with the Commanders. So I mean, not a cupcake schedule for them. They got Seattle, Buffalo, and Detroit are no slouches. So and the Dolphins. So they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm
But
I'm too
overall,
I'm in
I
too
mean,
good of a mood. Yeah,
you
I can't get caught up on them.
you know, this is what I don't like. People are like, "Ooh, refs, you refs are paid, whatever." Like, come on now. Like the whole for 11 weeks of the season, the Eagles had the refs on their side. You don't ref your way to 10-1. And
Oh, I
just looking
agree.
at that game, like Josh Allen, that was one of the best quarterback performances all year. Cooked our defense. And
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Bills looked rough penalty wise. I mean, sure,
sure.
there was okay, there
But
was a
they put
couple
over
maybe.
500 yards. I was looking at when we were in the car when I was driving back. I was looking at this like the stats, and it was insane. Like the comparisons.
Oh yeah, they just looked like an undisciplined bad team. The Bills did not look good. Like you say what you want about the penalties and maybe the mistakes the Eagles made, but you had so many penalties. You didn't. Von Miller didn't do anything. Gabe Davis made a horrendous read on that touchdown that should have been in overtime. Like they are not a good team. Sure, the what was it called? The horse collar was a blown call, but you had 10 other penalties that they committed.
Listen to this. All right. If I told you a team was going to go 50% on third down efficiency, 1 for 1 on fourth down, run 92 plays, which was almost 30 more than the other team, have the ball for how much time was it? 40 minutes. The other team had the ball for 26 minutes. You ran 92 total plays. I already said that. And you have 500 total yards.
I mean, how many times did they convert?
Yeah,
but how many times did they convert over like a third and sevens? You know, every deep third they were
13
of Eagles.
13 of 22 on third down. Eagles were 4 for 11. I mean, pretty comparable. We only had 11 shots at a third down. I mean, they did run, obviously, like I said, a lot more plays than us. We had more yards per
Dakota,
play.
I think we got to end on this note. Come to my side. It'll make you so much happier. Just be positive. Just watch these games. Don't get infuriated. Just know that we're eventually going to win. I was great. We were getting crushed. We were embarrassing ourselves in the second quarter. No sweat. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how. We look terrible. I don't know how, but we're going to win it.
You.
I don't. We'll see what happens.
I'm with you. I'm saying for us
10-1
to have won that game and come out the way the Bills played is impressive. And for the Bills, Bills fans are probably in hell. But
well, yeah, they needed that one desperately.
Nice. That's why I was picking them. But all right,
anyway,
it was a weird week of the rest of the league. I mean, all the games leading up to Sunday were absolute garbage. What a disappointment! All 3 Thursday games on Thanksgiving were not good games. You had the Packers beating the Lions 29-22. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. Cowboys.
There was some excitement.
Cowboys beat the Commanders 45-10. Deron Bland had another pick 6. That's insane.
This record will never be touched.
No. I mean, you know who I credit though? Dan Quinn. It's a hell of a fucking defensive coach. But
you know who I've started hearing people get love, and it's kind of weird because like I always knew him as a terrible cornerback. I couldn't wait till he left, and then he had resurged in the Packers. Al Harris is apparently the DE coach for Dallas. Getting a lot of love. Oh. I could buy into it. I mean, listen, they got
Eagle Al Harris.
He was so bad. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of, you remember Justin Williams on the Flyers, who went on to win all those titles with the Kings?
Yes.
That didn't sound like a confident yes.
I was trying. Did he wear like number 11 or something on the Flyers?
Like I don't remember his number.
White dude with like blonde hair or something, or brown hair. I know who you're talking about.
It was like the shaggy blonde, yeah. Awful. He was so bad as a Flyer, terrible. But then he went on to the Kings, was pretty solid. They won 3 titles. Al Harris was awful. I just remember this guy, even as a young lad, maybe. I remember him just getting crushed.
Every Flyer went to the fucking Kings. Jeff Carter, Mike Richards, but yeah. Anyways,
but either way, yeah, Al Harris is a name I think that could be interesting. Deron Bland's going to give him a lot of attention. He got Trayvon Diggs. I knew he's hurt now, but weird, not bad secondary they got in the future there. Dallas,
Gilmore
still lose to the Eagles.
I don't see Gilmore being there that much longer. He's pretty up there in age.
Oh, there's no way they bring him back. What are you going to do? Sit Bland? Diggs is making all the money.
Yeah. But yeah, I was really pulling for the Commanders. I mean, they were in it at the halftime, and then they just fucking got obliterated. But
they suck. Ron Rivera needs to be fired. That defense is terrible. The whole team stinks.
Yeah, they need to scrap it. Then the late game, the post Thanksgiving dinner, 49ers beat the Seahawks 31-13. Pretty bad. I mean, the first half was
also not entertaining,
but
Seahawks kind of stink.
Yeah, I'm glad I switched my pick before the show ended last week. So, and then the Black Friday game was also garbage. Dolphins beat the Jets 34-13. It's just not a good pre-Sunday games, but
can we just start flexing in week 3 or like week 6? That's all I can ask for.
And looking at the scoreboard, I mean, besides the outlier of the Cowboys and like one other game, a lot of close games this week. Colts beat the Bucks 27-20. Gardner Minshew and the Colts, they got a playoff spot right now. 7th seed.
Jonathan Taylor shirt though. Return of
And
Zach Moss.
well, Zach Moss is like top 10 in rushing still, but uh, up there with the Monday night game for ugliest game of the week, we had the Patriots and the Giants. Giants won 10 to
Oof.
7.
The Italian Stallions making some noise
How
though.
many times is Mac Jones going to get benched and then still be allowed to play? Like, what are we doing? Like, they're destroying this
I
guy's ego. Like, it's
destroying. He doesn't have it anymore.
he does.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he
this
is.
is the complete opposite. But to be fair, you could have it two ways. You could have
He
Mac
sounds
Jones, who's
broken
being,
in his press
well,
conferences.
he's obviously. You have Mac Jones, who's getting thrown out there every single week, then benched, and then brought out, then benched, and he's going to get benched again. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, they left him out there, said, nope, we're definitely not benching him. What? Haven't even thought about it once. And neither of them really matter. Neither of these like strategies have any benefit when the quarterback stinks.
But yeah, they're jeez, terrible. Um, Bengals, no more Josh Burrow. No more Burrow. Steelers won 16 to 10. A pretty ugly game, but
Yeah,
Steelers
it's a
are
weird
in
one.
playoffs. So
DeAndre
uh,
Johnson making a lot of unnecessary noise.
yeah, just because he didn't gave up on a fumble or whatever it was, but
Yeah, I don't know. He got an argument with his teammate and then dropped a touchdown. Really, really not the
this is
greatest look for
a
him.
this is a I don't know what's in the water in Pittsburgh that every wide receiver they get, like once they come on the scene and show that they could be a good player, they become a diva and like cause drama and trouble. I'm
Lose
like,
their mind. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, who was the last one? Like Claypool when he celebrated that
I
first down or
mean,
whatever on the United timeouts. That was a good
you
time.
got Antonio Brown, then Juju, then Claypool, now
Martavis
Sante,
Bryant was in there for a cup
James
of coffee.
Bryant. You have
Yeah,
Plaxico Burress
so,
on that team, and
oh, you're going way
Santonio
back.
Holmes. Yeah, it was a lot of divas. But anyways, uh, Titans beat the Panthers off of Derrick Henry's. What do you have? 2 touchdowns, 17 to 10. Panthers then fired Frank Reich the next day, and then fired Deuce Staley and Josh McCown. And excuse me, they are weird. I don't understand what happened with Frank Reich. I thought he
I don't,
was.
yeah.
I thought he was a good coach, and
I don't really
maybe
get the whole like what is your plan if you're David Tepper? Like, are you just growing impatient? I don't know what you thought was going to happen this year. Your roster stinks. Yeah, you are going to give up the first overall pick, and you've got Bryce Young, and your team stinks. So this first round pick you're giving the Bears is going to be even worse. But what did you actually think was going to happen? Because I think your expectations were a little off if you're firing a coach at this point already, unless he's like just him and Bryce Young hate each other, which I don't know. I find hard to believe since Reich seems to have a good relationship with a lot of quarterbacks.
yeah, I
Wait,
don't.
is this just an overreaction to your team is terrible and you don't have a first overall pick?
I have no idea. I just don't. Part of me makes like thinks like that maybe Frank Reich wasn't the one who wanted to draft Bryce Young, and that's
I
why
mean,
it's
I
not
don't
really
know.
working. But
You hire a head coach and you have the first overall pick with a bunch of quarterbacks and you don't take his opinion at all. I'd find it hard to believe that he didn't have any say.
I don't know. I don't know. They're a train wreck though. But
Hey, that's where I come
anyways,
back to expectations. Maybe that was the problem. Tepper gave Reich the pick and he went with Bryce Young and they're terrible.
no. Then we had the Jaguars. This was probably one of the best games besides the Eagles and Bills. Jaguars beat the Texans 24-21. Texans played well and then just missed a doink field goal at the end. The Jags, man, when they're on, they look pretty good. They just gotta, they had that one hiccup against the Niners, but I think they're a
The
good team.
Texans are like the same. They're like very. I don't know where I'm at.
I like the
Like, I think
Texans.
they're both good. Yeah, I think they're both good, but I have my doubts on both of them at the same time.
No, no, they're still the AFC South. So,
It's very true.
um, battle of the NFC South. Somebody has to win that division. Falcons beat the Saints 24-15. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah, who
I just
cares?
don't.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the NFC South. They have to play. People have to go out there.
they're like the new NFC East when we were bad for like 2 years. And now but they've been bad for a
Well,
while. So
I feel like the NFC South is bad quite often.
yeah, yeah. Rams beat the Cardinals 37-14. Beat down. Rams are
The Rams
quietly
are
still in
they're a
playoff
weird team.
contention. Yeah.
They're a team that, I mean, they got talent, they've got the coach, they got the pedigree. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to really make a run, maybe win one, but I think they got some life to them.
Yeah, we'll see. Um, Broncos 5-game win streak beat the Browns 29-12. But we
Too much
believe in
whiz.
the
Are you buying the Broncos?
they since that blowout in Miami when they gave up 70 points, they have only given up 80 points combined since that game.
They look pretty good. I mean, they're on a 5-game win streak, if I remember.
They
I'm buying into them. Like,
I'm
this
buying this,
is,
and they're beating like solid teams. Like these aren't like bogus teams that they're playing. They beat
it's
the
just, there was
Chiefs.
a
They beat the
combination of,
Browns.
there was talent there, and it was very odd that this team was this bad for this long. Like last year, sure, right away, but they started slow, but they're figuring it out now. I'm buying in. I think they could, it depends on if they keep it up. I think they make some noise. The defense is really playing well.
I'm I they're my they're my surprise team so far. I think this year. I did not. No, I don't think I did not think. I mean, the Lions, like I thought they were going to be doing well. I thought they were going to win division. Broncos, I did not. I thought maybe middle of the pack, but
You weren't buying
especially
Sean
after
Payton.
that start of the season.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
after that Nathaniel Hackett game, they turned it around.
It's true. All the motivation they
Um,
need.
Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-17. They were down 14-0 and then stormed back to get the win. Um, Ravens beat the Chargers 20-10 in a fairly ugly game. It was like 13-10 the entire game. Chargers
Yeah.
Chargers suck. Um, Eagles beat the Bills in overtime, like we discussed, 37-34. Man, one last thing though on that, like, how easy was that overtime drive for them? They were
Oh
just
yeah, that was
they were
no
the
problem.
Bills were watching too much of the Eagles defense. They're like, oh, let's do this prevent shit, and they just let
They're
and it
just
was it was the same play. They kept throwing like a 5-6 yard pass to the left side of the field because the ball was placed on the farther end of the hash. Just kept throwing it and throwing it and throwing it and throwing it. Easy completions. And look, and then Jalen ran it in. And Swift had a couple of huge runs in that game. He's
the
so
momentum had changed. It's just that was the point where once they went to overtime, this is what I mean about the Eagles. This is what's different than last year. Once they went in overtime, that killer instinct came out, and they decided we need to win this game right now. And that's
yeah.
exactly what they did. Once they got the ball, you knew they were going to score.
Yeah. But and then finally Monday Night Football gave us game of the year. Bears beat
Yeesh.
the Vikings 12-10. I don't think the Bears even had was did they not have an offensive touchdown from what I understand?
They did not, but you know what? I'll give credit to Justin Fields. That the last drive of the game, because I'm a big I love Viking entertainment, so I'm always watching beginning to end of every Vikings game. Justin Fields at the end had like a game-winning drive for a field goal, and I was thinking that drive, like, this is Justin Fields. Hockey's still in my mind. Justin Fields or Caleb Williams kind of drive. This
Mm.
was go draft Marvin Harrison and that offensive tackle from Penn State and keep me instead of go draft Drake May and Caleb Williams. I'll give it to him. He drove the field. He looked good. He looked awful the entire game. Really rough. But he had that game-winning drive. Got to give him credit right at the end. I don't think the decision's made yet, but he gave you a little, maybe he is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, very similar stats to Jalen, honestly, because Jalen had 200 passing yards. I think Jalen had like 65 rush yards, and then one of his receivers, Devontae Smith, had 100 receiving yards. Sidney Fields 217, 60 rushing, and DJ Moore had 114 yards. But man,
I
Josh
mean, yeah,
Dobbs 4
passing the
interceptions. Oof.
Fields. I mean, Fields was all right. I mean, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he fumbled twice.
I
So
mean,
I wouldn't say he
27,
was
27 for 37. I don't know like if these were all short passes or not, but it's decent completion
it's
percentage.
219 yards. All right, relax, there, old guy.
I mean,
There's no
Jalen had
touchdowns, two
200. All right, let's
fumbles.
keep it real.
Yeah, he also had 3 touchdowns.
Well, 5 total touchdowns.
No, there you go.
Pass for 3, ran for 2.
Yeah, it's
So
5 more than his turnovers. Or no, he did
but
have an interception, so he was +4 instead of Fields -2.
yeah, well, that is a wrap on week 12 already. Damn. And without further ado, Mr. Mullen, let's get into some studs and duds.
All right. Well, obviously, I've been preaching to you positivity, so we're only in a good mood until the Eagles lose.
Of course.
So I got so for our third stud this week, guy coming in for his first appearance all year. Big performance, big team performance, 37 up for a team that, isn't really turning heads that much yet, but over 200 yards from scrimmage, 2 tutties, and an insane 8.9 yards per carry. I'm starting off with Kyron Williams, running back from the Rams.
Okay. Okay.
He had a big game. I mean, Stafford threw for 4 touchdowns, but Williams gave you the ground game and, 60 yards to the air, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean they let Cam Akers
Uh,
go because they knew they had something in this kid. So
well, Cam Akers also stinks,
he
but
does
yeah, I,
suck.
I
Yeah.
agree that Williams giving him something helps.
Yes.
Rolling into our second stud, this guy actually seen an appearance on the dud list this year. Got to give him credit. He's faced extreme amount of criticism, had a high potential, and a high expectation when he took the job. But we're finally starting to see the fruits of their labor. We're going to go with Sean Payton here after getting his 5th win with the Broncos. And really, I mean,
Ugh, I hate
he's
him,
turned
but
this he's
respect.
turned this whole thing around. This team was
Yeah.
a train wreck last year. He got traded for the first round pick. He talked to smack to Nathaniel Hackett. They looked rough coming in opening the year, and now they're starting to really find their groove. They beat a pretty good. I mean, put up almost 30 points against one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't, not a Sean Payton fan, but they're playing well. They're doing their shit right now, and like I said, they're right behind the Texans for that wild card
Yeah,
spot. So and the
now
Colts.
they're.
So
I don't expect them to start fading yet either. Alrighty, moving on. So our number one stud this week, I think this one's fairly obvious because I don't care that Justin Tucker has a 99.9% field goal percentage. I don't care that he hits, a 50-yarder every game. And considering he missed a field goal this week, I think it just cements the argument even more. Jake Elliott is the best kicker in football.
he's
Find me another
the
kicker that
goat.
is going out there in the rain,
Mm-hmm.
59-yarder to send
Mm-hmm.
him in overtime. And you know what? It wasn't the fact that he made it that makes him so good. It was the fact that you knew he wasn't going to make it. There was no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it was also good from probably 63, the way that had
Oh, that was
length
so
on it.
obvious. This guy just comes up in the big moments. He's never missed a playoff kick.
And technically he got
Never.
iced. And he's like, okay, I'll just stand here in the rain.
Iced. He was freezing cold all game. He's been iced the whole time.
He's
It
got
doesn't
ice,
matter though. They just the
ice in his
confidence.
veins.
You knew he was gonna make that, and he is the best kicker in field goal. So, or I'm sorry, the best kicker in the league. So the best kicker in the league coming in as our number one stud. We're going with Jake Elliott.
So good. So good.
All right, moving on to the sad stuff. Naturally, we go right back to a Chargers game to go to the sad stuff because they are a sad sack of a team. I honestly don't know what you do. I mean, the popular answer is gonna be fire Staley,
Are
but
we
this team stinks. The players they're so overrated. Almost all of them.
to interrupt you? Are we shocked that the first fire wasn't the Bears or some other guy? The first fire wasn't Staley of the Chargers, but it was Frank Reich of the Panthers in his first season.
Well, no. Reich, no. Reich surprised me as the second fire. Josh McDaniel getting housed by the Raiders.
Okay, that was
one.
a given.
That one was
that
obvious.
Was
yeah, that one. Well, I mean, that was your first one. I mean, McDaniel's didn't surprise me. Reich, sure, but I mean, I don't know.
At this point, Staley, he hasn't done anything. It's been 4 years now. How long has Herbert been in the league?
I don't think Staley's that good, but look at what their players are doing. Like my third dud this week is Austin Eckler, who had 32 yards on the ground.
Oh, I didn't even check my fantasy results.
Or I'm sorry, 32 yards through the air and 32 yards on the ground for a 3.2 yard per carry. No touchdowns. The guy's rough. I mean, this is more than just the whole team, but 10 points.
He's
10
not
points
been,
with all this talent you have. They just stink. Their good players aren't helping them either.
Well, Keenan's been good all year, but yeah, Eckler's been hurt and he hasn't been super consistent.
I mean, Eckler
Um,
had a fumble. Like they had all right, look at the three players that had fumbles for them. Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen didn't have a single touchdown. Justin Herbert had one, but also had a pick. Like those are your three superstars. They both had a fumble, or all three of them had a fumble, and you had one passing touchdown between the three of them. Those you guys need to step up. You know, Allen had 14 for 106. That's fine and all, but Eckler gave you absolutely nothing on the ground.
Now,
Gave you a little bit through the passing, but he's always going to give you that. No touchdowns. It's just he's kind of like the main part of this offense, you know, behind Herbert, and he really hasn't done much. So third dud is Austin Eckler.
yeah, I think he's in. I can't figure out. I thought he was in one of these leagues I'm in. Um,
No, you would have been much angrier by now. I think to
yeah.
know that he was on
Well,
your team.
I mean, I will say not to toot my own horn, but we played each other in two different leagues this week, and I beat your ass in both of them. So
Okay, I don't remember when that ever came up in the topic, so you relax there.
just combined
Go
for
keep
almost 300 points. It's okay.
go look for Austin Eckler on your team. He'll tell us about, you know,
That's
your
on
roster.
that's on my team. That's the only
Moving
team I
on.
have that's not making the playoffs.
Moving on. You know what's main criteria to get on the dud list? You've heard this many times. You know what it is. You lose your job, you're always going to find a spot on this list, and you know maybe kick a man while he's down. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I mean, the team stinks. They suck. They've got what, one win. There's somehow, you know, we kill the Patriots every week. We kill the Giants, but somehow they're not the worst team in football. So I think it's a little short-sighted. I don't know what you really expected, but you know, like I said, you lose your job, you're on the list. So Frank Reich comes in my second dud. And normally losing your job gets you at number one dud because you know naturally it's not a good week for you. But boy, oof, go on national TV and throw four interceptions, and that'll be a compelling case right there. So unfortunately, I think unless we're getting chapter three and Josh Dobbs is getting traded to another team so he can get hot for 2 games and then fall apart like he has with the Cardinals and Vikings, I think this storybook tale is coming to an end. They're already talking about how they're probably not going to start him next week. It's been fun though. You know, he was really good for 2 games with the Cardinals, really good with 2 games for the Vikings. Then he fell apart. But you know, he got a second chapter in the book. Most quarterbacks don't. You know, they usually get stuck and kicked to the bench. But Josh Dobbs, I think you're going to find your way to your bench, and one way or another, I think you're also going to lose your job. So, 4 interceptions, very rough
Yeah,
day.
not good.
22 of 32, really rough. So
It was
that's
a
our
fun
first
story.
dud.
It was a fun story,
Yeah,
but
didn't last. But it had legs. You know, found a new team and we went again. So
all right. I like it. Jake Elliott, number one stud. Big fan.
obviously,
All right. We're gonna continue with the cooked or simmering. All right.
oh okay.
Again, we're kind of looking at some playoff teams here. So AFC side of things, I think it's safe to say we're both, thinking the Bills they'll be all right. Broncos seem to be in the mix. Texans are in the mix. So a lot of these teams, they already look pretty good. But we have a couple like on the edge teams, and one of them like they put up a good fight, but I don't know if they're quite ready to make the playoffs, especially where the season's going. But cooked or simmering, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, they've been cooked. What do you mean? This is what do you mean? They've been done. Okay, then move on. Next one.
I just had to get some AFC action in there, but another one we have in ninth place in the NFC, but only one game out of the wild card spot. The Los Angeles Rams. Are they cooked or are they
Hmm.
simmering?
I think they're simmering. I'm buying into the Rams.
Okay.
I mean, they have a lot of talent. You know, Donald, Cup, Stafford. They're still there. The core of this team's still there. They're pretty rough in a couple other spots. They just need to stay healthy. If you can keep Cup and Stafford and those guys like healthy for a run, you know, I could see them winning a game. You know, I don't think they're going to go very far, but I could see them winning a game in the playoffs.
Okay. Another team currently holding the second wild card spot, 6-5, the Seattle Seahawks, who have a pretty tough schedule coming up. They got Philly, they got Dallas. Do you think they are cooked or they're just simmering? Just lost the 49ers
Yes.
too.
They did just lose the 49ers, and you know what? They didn't look competitive at all in that game. They did not look like a team that was going to compete for a playoff spot. I'm like, I think they're kind of cooked. They got a tough schedule coming up. I don't really have any faith. I do like their secondary. Witherspoon looks great. Jamal Adams has come to life a little bit, but I don't know. They're just not doing it for me much. The Rams are probably a team they're going to compete with at the wild card. I mean, their schedule's not easy either. They're going to get the Browns this week. You know, they could probably win that, but the defense of the Browns is nothing, to blow over. Ravens and Niners are going to be tough, but the Saints stink, Commanders stink, the Giants stink. I could see
Mm.
the Rams. I think I'm more confident the Rams taking a playoff spot than I am the Seahawks.
Mm. All right, fair enough. Now you look at this pretty stout top of the NFC here. We got Philadelphia 10-1, San Francisco 8-3, Detroit 8-3,
I love
Dallas
the
eight and
aggressive talking.
three,
Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then in the number 4 spot, leading their division, the Atlanta Falcons at 5-6.
Oh, they're so cooked. I
Gross.
honestly couldn't even tell you if they're going to make the playoffs. Who knows? Who knows? Throw them in a cup and roll them and see what comes out
So,
with that
so
division.
hold on. My question: the NFC South, all 4 teams, are they cooked or are they
Oh, they're
simmering?
all cooked. They're just all burnt. They're all burnt.
Doesn't matter. Whatever team makes it. Now we have seen in the past, like some teams that are garbage. The one year the Seahawks were what 7-9, and then they beat the Saints, I think, in the first playoff game. But they like these teams are all bad, bad.
They all
Like
stink.
I
They're all
don't
terrible.
I don't see any of them like sneaking a win out in the wild card or the first division
No,
round.
they're just miserable,
Which
terrible
also
teams.
crazy. One of them is going to host a fucking playoff game.
Disgusting. I mean, I don't know. The NFC is pretty rough after the top 3 or 4 teams, but no, they all suck. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
buying in any of
I'm
them.
gonna bold prediction. I don't know any of their schedules, but whoever wins the NFC South is going to have a negative record.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I don't. I think the Falcons are what,
Seven and
five and
ten.
six,
They're going
seven
to go
and ten.
7-10. That's my
Okay.
prediction. 7-10.
All right. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they all have to play each other. That always makes it tough. Someone's got to win.
That's true. But those are my cooked or simmered teams for this week. Speaking of cooked or simmered, I might be getting cooked in these game picks right now, and I'm not having a
You
good
are.
time.
We love it.
I don't know what the total. So I had. See, I'll just go back real quick. I still had like a 5-6 game lead on you, but now you're catching up. You are catching up, my friend.
No
Let's
more.
see.
We're catching up there.
Let's see. So I'm 110 to 54. You're 104 60. So you're what? You were 6 games behind.
Okay,
And
we can make that up. It's all
this
right.
week, this week you went 11-5, respectable.
You
I
can do
went
that again.
I went 8-8, not great. So
Love
that's
that. Love that.
was that 3 games? So you made up. You're only 3 games behind now. And then Reno, my brother, did guest picks. This idiot knows nothing about football. Went 10-6. This is how you know you can just flip a coin.
Oh, speak for yourself. I beat him.
I'm kidding.
I actually know football.
No, we have we only bring the best either guessers or analysts onto this guest picking podcast. So
Well,
he got lucky.
pick your battle there. You can talk
Yeah,
down on
lucky.
Reno, or confront
Well,
the
I
fact
just
that you
realized I
lost to
just
him.
shit on us by saying that, but
Yeah. Well, hey, don't rope me into this. This is you. I won.
all
All right, kick us off. What do we got?
right. Going into it, we have let's see. Went to the wrong fucking website there. Pretty decent Thursday night game for once. Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Do I dare do it? Probably
No,
not.
I'm taking Dallas. I just called the Seahawks cooked. I'm not going to buy in. This is another Dallas is going to win, and we're going to lose our mind for a whole, until they play the Eagles and they lose, and then reset the whole process.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be bold here and take Seattle as much as I want to. I will take the Cowboys as well. Next game, Sunday at 1:00. No more weird Friday, Saturday games. Well, we might have Saturday games soon. I forget when they start those, but Sunday 1:00. Colts at the Titans. Colts are moving. I'm taking Indianapolis.
You know what? They did just lose Jonathan Taylor, but Zach Moss looked great when he was out, and the Titans are just a mess. I'll take the Colts.
Falcons at the Jets.
That's rough. I listen. I
I'm,
guess I have to pick a team that's winning their division over Tim Boyle, so I'll take the Falcons.
you know what? I'm gonna take the Jets at home in Jersey. So
Oh,
I think that defense gives
someone's got to.
Desmond Ritter trouble or whoever the fuck is playing quarterback. Um, Lions at the Saints. Lions rebound game. Your trademark saying there.
Get right.
Get
You
right
gotta say
game.
it correctly
All
next
right, I'll
time.
take
Yeah, no,
rebound game. You get right game. That's fine.
who the hell wants a rebound game? That just sounds like you did something shameful that you have to get over. Get
And we're
right
not
is
talking
something
about like
you
a
want to get
rebound,
over.
like rebound relationship, rebound that kind of stuff. We're talking about rebound
No. This rebound is
sports.
like I'm having a mental breakdown, still caught up with this person or thing. I'm forced to do it. My friends and loved ones are making me do this. Get right is all right. We need this. We messed up. We can reflect on our errors. We're moving on. And yeah, so I'm going to go with the Lions on a get right game.
All right, thank you for the mansplain, Tim. We have Broncos at the Texans. Who would have thought this would be
Ooh.
a good game? Hmm.
You know what? Throw me a coin in the pot. I think this is the game of the week. I know the Niners and Eagles is going to be fun, but this one's going to be like a scrappy one. I want to see where both of them are at.
Ah,
You know what? I Texans have really surprised me all year. I think they're very good. I could flip a coin on this game, but I'm going to say the Broncos still ride. They got some things going for them. I think they're real hot here.
okay. I think I think the Texans have. I think they've dropped two in a row. If I'm not mistaken, but or two of their last three. But I think they get back on the win here. It's a get right game, so to speak. Not that they need it because they
So
played well against the Jags, but
your reasoning for picking them is because they've lost two in a row.
no, I think they're a good team, and I think that they're gonna. Broncos have also won five straight. They're not going to keep that up all the way into the playoffs if that's where they're going. So they got
Yeah,
to have a
they might
hiccup
make it
on the
six.
road.
Yeah,
Taking the Texans
all right.
with confidence. I couldn't tell you when the last time I would go into an NFL season saying I'm taking the Texans with confidence, but here we are.
True.
Next game, Chargers at the Patriots. You know
Oh
what?
boy, yeesh, that's gonna be
Part of me wants to
ugly.
pick the Patriots because they got to win again eventually, but
No.
I'm taking the
I
Chargers.
mean, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because I've been just trash talking this Chargers so much, but this game they're always gonna win. It doesn't matter how bad you are; you'll beat the Patriots. So I'll go Chargers.
Cardinals at the Steelers. A lot of weird matchups.
You know what? The Steelers are like this is where I think Mike Tomlin's like thrives is that there are cracks starting to form. This team isn't very good. Kenny Pickett is starting to cause some friction. The offense is getting mad. The offense coordinator just got fired. But that defense is still very good, and they cover up these issues well enough to win. So I think the Steelers win this one.
I'm going to use this as my upset of the week. I will take the Cardinals.
Fair enough.
Dolphins at the Commanders.
Oh
Dolphins are going to be
boy, the
playing.
Dolphins are going to score 70 points.
And Dolphins are going to be playing Dallas soon. They need to get some wind under their belt. So I'm taking Dolphins. Panthers at the Bucks. Well, on one hand, you have
There's
the
nothing.
Buccaneers who are reeling, and then the other hand, you have the Panthers who just have fired their coach. Both
The
bad
Raiders,
choices.
fired their coach and they won the next game, but I think they have more talent than the Panthers do.
Agreed.
And I don't think that the firing Frank Reich in Bryce Young's rookie season is a great decision. So I'm going with I'm not going with the Panthers. Who are they playing? I completely blanked.
You don't even know who they're playing, but you're not picking them.
I forget. I completely the train went off the track.
The Buccaneers.
That's who it is. So yeah, go Baker.
Okay. The real game of the week, and this is probably one of the most hype Eagles games in a while that I'm really, really excited. Like, I'm excited for every game, but like this one, I can't wait till Sunday. They need to come out and play really well. Eagles taking on the 49ers at home at Lincoln Financial Field, 4:00. I'm taking the Birds. I'm not fucking around with this shit. I hate the 49ers.
Positive thinking. Go Birds.
Go Birds, baby. Browns at the Rams. Kind of intriguing.
I'm taking the Rams. The Browns. Their defense is really good, but this quarterback situation is real rough. I think Amari Cooper's out now. Like, this isn't going to go well. I think you're about to see the Jets all season long. Like what the Jets have done all season long is what you're going to see with the Browns going forward. So I'll take the Rams. Come
You know,
on, roll
you
with
know what?
dice. Roll the dice.
You know what? I was gonna take the Browns, but you sold me on the Rams, so I will take the Rams.
That's not how this works, but fine.
And then Chiefs at the Packers is Sunday Night Football. Why are the Bears and the Packers have been on primetime TV way too often this season?
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't get it. There's nothing about the Packers that are exciting, and they're
no,
not going to win this
I'm
game.
taking the
So I'm going with
Chiefs.
the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
And then Monday night, Bengals at the Jags. I will be taking the Jaguars.
That could have been a good game, but yeah,
Could have
I'll take
been.
the Jags.
Could have been. All right. And that is our picks for this week. And then the only thing we got left for this episode is our power ranking. So safe to say, keep our birds up at number one here.
Obvious.
Number two, uh,
I'll put the Niners.
Niners, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Three, I would say
But
the Ravens.
no, give me the Chiefs.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Chiefs and
The Ravens didn't look. I mean, they
Ravens.
did beat the Chargers, but they didn't. There was some issues with that team. They didn't look great in all aspects.
So Eagles, Niners, Chiefs, Ravens, and then 5-6 is Dallas and Detroit. Who do you want first? I probably put Dallas at this point ahead of Detroit.
Fine. Dolphins after Detroit.
Dallas, Detroit, and then Miami. Jags.
Yeah, I was to say Jags have to be there.
We got two spots left. Texans.
I mean, you could give a real argument to the Broncos, but yeah, I would say Texans, and then yeah,
The Broncos
you know
at
what?
10.
Yeah, why not? That's 5 wins in a row. It's tough to win in the NFL.
Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's not terrible. It's four NFC teams, 6 AFC teams, but
Sounds about right.
Not bad. I don't mind it. Eagles been the number one. I think I just hope they come out and play. I don't want to see another because you can't start slow against this 49ers team. This is a good I kept saying every week, oh, the Chiefs will be a good test. The Bills will be a good test. And they keep winning, but they're not winning early and looking good in the beginning of the games. I need them to play well in this game because they'll fall behind.
Stop.
They'll fall behind.
Relax. Positive thinking. We've passed every test you've had.
They're going to win.
We've passed every. What do you mean?
This
is a test. They've passed every test. There is no more test. They're very good. They're going to stress you out. They're going to look real ugly.
Whoa.
And then they're going to win. They're going to win. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're just going to win. It might be a 60-yard field goal at the end of the game in the middle of the rain. It might be a blocked field goal from your rookie. It might be your third wide receiver going up in double coverage on third down. I don't know, but they're going to win. I
will say one last thing. Hassan Reddick was talking a little bit of smack already, saying that the 49ers said they were this, said they were that, but we beat them, and so he's got to come out to play too now. So I'm hoping I want to see some sacks.
It's Tuesday. I think you're going to see a little more trash talking.
I just want to see Hassan Reddick put Brock Purdy on his ass again.
That'd be nice. Just ruptured his elbow. Wouldn't mind that.
No, I don't want to wish for his injury, but I just,
Yeah, that's true. No, we don't, because I'm tired of hearing about, oh, Brock Purdy didn't get hurt. I'd rather beat you with Brock Purdy.
I already saw someone message. They were like, oh, yeah. If Brock Purdy was healthy, this is the game we would have seen. Like, can you shut the hell up?
Yeah. And if I was 7 foot tall, then I would be in the NBA. Yeah. Well, we have a big one, my friend, so looking forward to it.
All righty. Go Birds, as always. And I'll talk.
Positive thinking.
I'm going to try.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you again for listening to the Post-Fades and Cheesesteaks Sports Podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on all your major platforms. Follow us on YouTube. Follow the show on Spotify and Apple. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Have a great day, and tune in next week.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.